$100 million launch was falling apart. Top engineers had been working around the clock. Deadlines missed, investors panicking, and then a 14-year-old girl, the daughter of a cafeteria worker, quietly pointed to a single line of code and changed everything. Set up. Her name was Amina Jordan. She wasn't supposed to be there. She wasn't part of the team. She didn't even go to that school. Not officially. Her mom, Latrice, worked in the building. Cafeteria supervisor. Been there 10 years. Barely noticed. She'd sometimes bring Amina with her after school. When her shifts ran late, Amina would sit quietly in the staff lounge, doing homework, earbuds in, or sketching code on the back of napkins. No one paid her any mind. Just another kid waiting for a ride. But Amina noticed everything. She watched engineers whisper in corners, heard them arguing behind doors they thought were closed. She watched systems fail, screens blink red, and faces sink into their hands. And she listened. She always listened. The night it shifted, April 18th, her mom had to work late again. Amina wandered toward the sixth-floor lounge. The doors were cracked, voices sharp. It's corrupting the AI model. One of them snapped. We've scrubbed it 3 times. It's recursive. It's stuck in the legacy module. Amina froze. She didn't understand everything, but the word recursive stuck. She leaned closer. 2 guys in hoodies, one tapping furiously at a screen, the other pacing like his world was on fire. If we rebuild the pipeline from scratch, one said, we lose 6 more weeks. That's contracts gone. That's $100 million evaporated. Amina's heart pounded. She didn't mean to stay, but something on the screen, a loop nested inside another. She'd seen it before. In an old tutorial she'd watched 100 times on YouTube, a recursive handler that spiraled endlessly. She didn't know why it was wrong. She just felt that it was. And without thinking, she pushed the door open. The moment, the room fell silent. The younger engineer, Caleb, whirled around. Can we help you? Amina hesitated, her voice barely above a whisper. I think your pointer's skipping garbage collection. They blinked. What? She walked closer, pointing at the loop. If the old handler's not bound to the updated matrix, it won't clear the orphan memory. It'll just keep doubling. You're not breaking the loop. You're feeding it. They stared at her like she was speaking another language. Who are you? Caleb asked flatly. I'm just Amina, she said. My mom works in the kitchen. The older engineer, Bryant, stepped forward. You're saying this whole issue, it's a memory leak? From old code? She nodded. I think so. It's eating itself, like recursive overflow. Bryant moved fast. He changed the handler, flushed the cache. Let's run it, he muttered. 5 seconds. 10. No red errors. Clean run. Silence. Then, holy, she fixed it, Bryant whispered. Caleb looked stunned. Bryant turned to her. How do you even know that? Amina just shrugged. I watch. And sometimes. I guess right. The whispers begin. By the next morning, whispers had spread. Not officially. No announcements. Just glances and questions. Did you hear about the girl? What girl? The one who fixed the AI bug. Some thought it was a rumor. Others thought the girl was a metaphor. No one believed it was a kid who used to sit in the break room eating apples while her mom washed dishes. But it was. Bryant didn't deny it. Neither did Caleb, though he wasn't thrilled. One engineer even stopped Amina in the hallway. I just wanted to say, what you did, that was amazing. Amina didn't say much. She just smiled. She wasn't looking for attention. She never was. The big meeting. Later that week, the CEO herself, Madison Rowe, came looking for her, found her waiting by the elevator with her backpack on. You're Amina, she asked. Yes. I heard what you did. That was remarkable. Would you come upstairs with me? Just 10 minutes. Amina followed her into an office, with leather chairs and glass walls, the kind of room she never thought she'd enter. Why did you speak up? Madison asked. Amina shrugged. I just didn't want them to lose everything. And I thought, maybe I was right. The CEO leaned forward. You were, and you just saved our product. Then she said something Amina would never forget. Would you ever want to build with us? Not as a guest, not as someone's daughter, as a coder. Amina's hand shook. She didn't say yes right away. She didn't even believe it was real. But that night, she called her mom, and through the quiet, all she said was, Mom, I think someone finally saw me. I think it's time more people knew your name. That's what Madison said. But attention, it's a tricky thing. Sometimes it opens doors. Other times, it just kicks up the dust under them. The following Thursday, Tristan Dynamics hosted its monthly town hall. The turnout was bigger than usual. Sure, the free Thai lunch helped, but that wasn't what brought most people. The building had been buzzing for days. Whispers of the janitor who saved the launch had turned into debates in Slack threads and coffee lines. Some thought it was a PR stunt. Others guessed Madison was trying to control fallout from the anonymous blog that had now hit Wired and Fast Company. No one really knew what to expect. The room filled with half-distracted engineers, Slack-pinging designers, and managers pretending to be busy with folders they never opened. In the very back sat Raymond Ellis. Clean button-down shirt. The same watch his daughter Patrice gave him for Father's Day. No laptop, just a notepad. He still had no idea what Madison was planning. Then she stepped on stage. No notes, no slides. Just her, calm and steady. I want to tell you a story, she began. The room went quiet. Last month, our AI launch hit a snag. A big one. Millions on the line. And our best minds couldn't crack it. Then someone who wasn't in the meetings, who wasn't on the Slack threads, who didn't even have dev server access, he saw what the rest of us missed. And he spoke up. Madison's eyes found Raymond in the back. Raymond Ellis has worked here for 16 years. Most of you know him, but never knew his name. He's cleaned our offices, emptied our trash, waxed these very floors. He's seen us at our best and at our worst. She paused. And last month, he saved this company. No applause, just silence, processing. This isn't a feel-good moment, she added. It's a wake-up call. Talent doesn't wear senior badge. Insight doesn't come with a lanyard. And if we can't recognize brilliance when it shows up in unexpected places, then we don't deserve to build anything meaningful. Then she did something no one expected. She stepped off the stage, walked through the room, and made her way to the back. Raymond stood, unsure what to do. She reached out and shook his hand. Effective immediately, she said, turning back to the room. Raymond Ellis is a systems analyst in our AI division, and this is just beginning. This time, the applause came. Hesitant at first, then full. A few stood. Most clapped, but one didn't. Caleb. He just sat, arms crossed, jaw tight. Raymond? He barely nodded. But the whispers didn't stop there. That afternoon, HR got flooded. Mentorship requests, meeting ordered approvals, even a few thank you notes addressed directly to Raymond. Some people were inspired. Others weren't. That evening in the parking lot, a tall man in a Tristan hoodie caught up to Raymond without making eye contact. You know, he muttered, some of us actually studied for this. Raymond turned calmly. So did I. The man scoffed and walked away. Raymond just stood there for a moment, watching taillights disappear in the dusk. The next morning, a sealed envelope was delivered to his desk. No company logo, just his name across the front. Inside was a short letter from Madison. We're launching a scholarship in your name. Full tuition, housing, mentorship. For students like you, talented, overlooked, and underestimated. The Raymond Ellis Scholarship Fund. First cohort begins this fall. His fingers froze, not because of the money, not even the honor, but because someone had finally listened. Not to the code, not to the fix, but to him. That afternoon, Madison invited him to speak at a community STEM panel in Oakland. He tried to decline. I'm not a public speaker, he said. That's exactly why you should do it, she replied. 2 weeks later, Raymond stood before 40 high school students. Most looked like he had at 17, sharp-eyed, skeptical, and tired of being underestimated. He didn't talk about fixing code or million-dollar bugs. He talked about dropping out of Stanford, taking care of his father, working nights while reading programming books on his breaks, wondering if the door had closed for good. Sometimes, he said, you're not locked out. You're just waiting for someone to stop, pretending the door isn't there. A girl raised a hand. Do you think it's too late? Like, if I already missed my shot. Raymond smiled. I'm 62. I got my shot last month. So no, you haven't missed anything. When he returned to work, someone had taped a sign to his office door. Raymond Ellis, systems analyst and legend. Bryant, no doubt. But not everyone was smiling. It started small, a mysteriously rescheduled meeting. A key file that vanished. His desk moved, right beside the noisy copy machine. No heads up. In meetings, Caleb grew more cutting. We're not coding in the 90s, he'd say with a smirk. Interesting suggestion. I'll run it by someone up to date. One day, Raymond proposed an optimized decision tree model, complete with data and benchmarks. 5 minutes in, Caleb cut him off. You might have gotten lucky once, he snapped, but we don't build on luck. Later that evening, Raymond sat on a bench outside, a cold cup of coffee in hand. He wasn't angry, just tired. Sienna found him. They're scared of you, she said. He looked at her. You remind them genius doesn't wear a hoodie and a CS degree. He laughed softly. I'm not a genius. I just want to build something that works. A few days later, things got worse. An anonymous sticky note appeared on his desk. Know your lane. No name. No initials. He didn't throw it out. He left it there, perfectly scented. But it wasn't over. At the next town hall, Madison was scheduled to announce a scholarship publicly. Raymond almost didn't go. But Patrice called. You show up, Daddy. You hold your head high. So he did. Madison stood at the podium, the room stiff with tension. I'm proud to announce the launch of the Raymond Ellis Scholarship Fund, she said. Full ride, mentorship, internships, named after someone who reminds us that brilliance doesn't always walk in with a MacBook. The room clapped. Eventually, most stood. Caleb didn't. Raymond didn't either. Not out of modesty, out of discipline. As the room emptied, a folder hit his back, one of the scholarship welcome packets. It fell at his feet. He toned. Caleb stood nearby. Enjoy your retirement gift, he sneered. Hope it makes up for skipping the real work. Bryant stepped forward, fists clenched, but Raymond stopped him. Let it land. He picked up the folder and walked away. Back at his desk, he pulled out the sticky note. Know your lane. He folded it neatly and tucked it inside the scholarship folder. Not out of spite. As a reminder, they could write notes, move desks, scoff behind smiles, but none of them had built what he had. That afternoon, he got an email from a student named Elena Torres. Mr. Ellis, I just got my acceptance. I'm the first in my family to go to college. I want to be like you. He replied simply, Don't be like me, Elena. Be better. I'll be watching. But he had no idea that by week's end, he'd be called to save the company again, and this time in front of everyone.